What's up everyone, Travis Mower's gone wild. Let's do a little unboxing. So we got some neat parts. Fortunately we're not sponsored, but we'll still always give them a shout out. Performance670.com. You can go check them out for any of your 670 needs for performance or even stock parts. So check that bad boy out. This can be the carb adapter that we need to hopefully get Wild Horse breathing a whole new line of breath. Comes with the bolts, everything that more or less we need to get this thing up and going. And we have the nibby 30mm carburetor there. She is purdy, same one that I run on my dirt bike. Then we have our fancy air breather. Now make sure, and I had to double check too, that this should be the right bolt hole, which it sure looks like it is, 60mm. So that is very specific. It states right on the website with the 670 that it is a 60mm gap. So any of these adapters that you find, almost none of them will work. I had to really search Amazon to try to find this one, because when you don't buy the whole kit together, which is really expensive for the Mikuni carb and everything else, and they don't even state exactly what millimeter it is, or if it does, my bad. But I just didn't want to pay that arm and a leg for this. I got this at a much cheaper rate altogether. But this boot will be able to go right on there, which we'll do a walkthrough on that. Then we did get some air filter wrap universal high flow intake filters. More or less they are waterproof, dustproof, hopefully mud proof, to allow the air breather to still be able to breathe when I'm going through all the water and mud without getting caked all over it and gumming up and again losing performance. So that's about everything that we need part wise to get this thing up and going. There's a couple new mods I want to do, which I will kind of do my best to go over, probably at least the before and after. So the clutch itself, I'm going to actually extend the arm for the spring, so I'm actually going to come up on a different angle, which is what makes sense when I show you, but come up on an angle and extend it so that way it gets more of a pull from that spring, because where it's at, it's too centered and it has a bite but not very good in that first half inch or so, and that's where I'm losing all my belt tension. So I want to beef that up a little bit. Then with that we need to beef up that bottom idler that we have. It keeps bending. The frame itself there's too much tension there and it's able to move, so we're going to put a stronger piece of stock there, weld that right to the frame, have a hole in it, and again be able to bolt that right to the frame like we already are, and that should beef it up enough to where it moves very little to hopefully none. And other than the carb and upgrading that, we should be pretty set to be able to give this another go around and hopefully an even better performance. Again, it did pretty good by the end of it. You guys should hopefully have already seen that. We'll see how well I get to do my videos, so we'll see if I eat my own words. But again, I'm happy with it. It could just always be better, which is why I went ahead and I invested more into this. I really appreciate all the support. My cousin Ben is phenomenal. We'll give him another shout out. He's been in some of the videos. The last year's both events, he should be in both of them videos a little bit, either just helping out, participating, or just kind of being there as a spectator and just being one of my big fans. He bought not only himself another shirt, but also his boy Jorge another shirt as well. So that's really awesome. He already has his name on the hood, but I just thought he deserves another shout out. But again, now we'll go ahead and we'll start getting on them mods of what we need to do to, again, the clutch and also the bottom pulley or idler pulley. And then we can start figuring out how to get that old carburetor off and this one on, and we'll learn together. Alright, so this is kind of what we're working on here. If you can see, there's this tiny little hole right there. That's where the spring went. It's not a very large throw from there to there. Then I was actually extending it all the way back to here, and the original one went to, actually I think I put that, I can't remember now if I put that hole there. I think that's where it always went. But regardless, it needs more of a pull. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on that. What we're going to do right now is we're going to end up getting this cleaned up and getting this cleaned up the best I can. And we're going to weld this guy right on, and it doesn't help, you guys can't see, so give me a second here. Let me switch my hands so I get for being left-handed. So we're going to make this to where the brake rod can still go through that existing hole, and we'll have way more up here. It's not going to be in the way, so I might even leave it extra long in case I want to modify it. But I'm thinking we're actually going to put the spring right up here in this top hole. It's going to give us a lot of pull. I just got to make sure I get a lot of bite on this weld. We'll probably actually go here in the front. That doesn't really matter. But we're going to make sure we get a really good bead as much as we can around this. I don't care how ugly or good it looks. Just make sure it's functional and working. It probably will actually go in the front. I just got to be careful with this, so might end up chopping a little bit more off this to make sure I can get enough weld up and around there. But we'll get this done. We'll make sure this is solid, and we'll get that going. The brake we need to adjust a little bit more. What I mean by that is I had to really engage the clutch to get it to start biting. So luckily we have a lot more thread to work on. I just forget how easy of the belt breaks, you know, on just that first little bit of the clutch. So we need to get that just a little bit better to help me with being able to stop. Again, it's just so nice to be able to even have brakes for once. So we'll get this all fine-tuned. Appreciate you guys watching, and hope you guys are appreciating all the tips I can give you, and hope you guys can build something of your own. And feel free to go on our Mowers Gone Wild show and tell your build group and join if you're not already, and share your progress. If you've already built something, feel free to share. We all love to see rather be built or in the process builds. Again, we'll always give Mr. Sir Postal Redneck a shout out for the Wild Horse sticker there. Well, more or less the logo that I created the sticker. But yeah, so hope you guys are enjoying all this. I know I am. It's been one heck of a process. I'm so excited and just so ready to have this thing at least being able to be more turnkey, or should I say push button, to be less issues and just dialed in. But I think we're that close to this. I'm hoping I don't have to cut that hood. So let's get some progress done. Well, I think I did it. Oopsie. That is the piece to the clutch right there. It ended up getting a little on the brake rod, and I was just trying to break it free a little bit, and then she snapped. What we're going to do, and I'm going to attempt to do without trying to make a whole new one of these, I'm just going to attempt to weld that back on. I think there's enough meat there. I think it's solid enough. I think I can do it, and we'll see what happens. So I will let you guys know. Alright, so let's take a quick look at what we did to stiffen up the pulley here. So this was just flexing a little bit. It's pretty thick, but at the same time there's not a ton there. So this was actually a bracket off, I don't remember what on this. It was red before I grinded it all down and welded it, but I end up welding from here up to here to just help give it more stability. It's about a quarter, or I mean, it might be about a 1/4 inch thick. It's a fairly thick piece of steel. So I just welded that right to the face of it. So what that's going to do, it's going to help beef this all up, because obviously I have this steel, now this steel. You should get a lot less flex using a grade A bolt. And there's still going to be some washers there, but hopefully it will not bend. I might not even need that many washers just to beef it out enough to be in line with everything else. Ran into a few issues with trying to do the clutch. I did get the bracket on there. In a way, I kind of wish I would have gone a little bit more this way. It is what it is. I might end up even having to modify the brake again, because now it's not going to get the full throw, which I don't believe it's going to need, because the clutch is broke within like a 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch of this throw that I already have. But what I'm getting at is when I was doing this, a little bit of weld got on there. When I went to go drive this out, it cracked this piece. So what I end up doing is I put some really nice, good thick beads in there. I've grinded them back down. This is in there. It's pinned in there. Everything's back up and going and working. Obviously, I don't got the spring on there yet. But now the spring's I'm gonna try from here back to there, and I should get a tremendous amount more pull, especially when I go to push. And we'll see kind of what happens with that, and then we can make iterations from there if needed. But the whole idea is to make sure I have as much tension as possible at all times on that, in that first little, you can say, 1/4 to even 1/8 of a throw, because that's where I'm breaking that belt and where I'm getting belt slip in the mud, everything, because it's just lifting that little bit. So again, we're working on that. Everything's kind of welded back up. Definitely not the prettiest. Hopefully that's going to hold. If not, I'll just end up having to make a new one. More or less a whole new sleeve, everything, or grind off and weld a whole new face plate and everything from there and just drill some new holes in it, which is totally okay. I can customize it and I can just make it all one bracket at that point. But that's what we have so far. I'm going to continue getting this thing back together and we'll see what happens. All right, so it's another day, and we're so much closer. I'm just going to kick more or less just another quick overlook of exactly what's been done. So this belt is extremely taut now, exactly what I want. Like, I used to be able to move this entire belt and practically disengage it with like just 2 fingers. I got to put almost my whole hand strength into it to even move that belt. So I think that's going to eliminate the belt slip. I should still pull this off and get the holdy-poldy method into it. Not that worried about it right this second. I think I've already showed you guys, but I put a new plate of steel this way that was thick to more or less give this less chance to bend. It was bending down due to the strength. So your tires need to get bolted back on. I still need to fix the brake rod, but we'll get to that. So I got the carburetor mounted. This is the Performance 670 adapter here. It says it right there in the back. I thought about trying to have it in there, but just I figured for how long it is, if I remove this, then I don't know. I didn't like the idea of trying to keep it all under here. I didn't know how well it was going to breathe or anything like that. I might still play with the idea of turning it just to see what happens, because this can be removed now. So that might actually give it enough clearance, but regardless, we're really close to being done with this thing. It's already started once with this. I did not get it on camera, but the idle was just a little too high. At first, it was almost like 3,000 RPM just with the way the cable was routed. I loosened it a little bit and boom, it dropped it down, especially with the belt engage. It went all the way down to like 1,200 or so, so it was a lot better. Things sounded amazing. It didn't seem like I had one stutter to it. It cold started really easy, so I'm already really impressed. This is a Nibby 30 millimeter, more or less just your general one that you can get on Amazon. I've been really impressed with it. I think it was like $75. I used my own cable that I already had an adapter that went right into there. I had this nice elbow off another carburetor that I had before that I just have there just to help keep the nice bend to it. Right here's the choke. I don't know if I'm gonna have to change the jetting or not based on when I've idled it up and or more or less put the accelerator to it. Everything sounded really good. It sounded really clean. I don't know if it's running too rich or too lean or anything along them lines, so might have to make a couple changes. I do got a couple jets that it came with, but again, we're just trying to get to the point that we can actually start testing everything out. Then with the clutch, it is extremely stiff. I will even try to see if I can do this on camera. Oh, whew. Oh, that is a hell of a push. But yeah, when you're sitting there, it's you got to have some leg strength to push that in now. That new plate I put here, and then I put it back to its stock location. That thing has so much pull now. It's definitely holding some great tension. When I broke the clutch, it seems like it's actually going to hold well. At least so far, it seems like it. I'm going to work on the brake rod. Because of this, I don't have a way to get the cotter pin in there anymore. So I'm going to have to come up with another thing. I thought about trying to extend this just a little bit so I can get something to put a cotter pin in. And then this is just not engaging now. I'm not having as long of a clutch throw, but the belt and everything's breaking real early on with what I have. So I don't think I'm going to express or see any issues with that. So might have to either try to tap this or add some threads to that, which is always possible as long as I have the right set for that. And then I don't even have to do it. Then I have more adjustment in case I make any changes down the road. Then just find a way so this doesn't fall off. But again, we're so close. Now the more I look at this, to not have this exposed to the outside, I am actually contemplating unbolting this, flipping it around, taking this off, and seeing if everything clears okay. I worried about the heat and everything off this, but I think it'll be okay. But we'll give it a go. We'll see what happens. So appreciate you guys following along. If I haven't already said it, make sure you hit that like button. If you would, give me a comment, man. We absolutely love comments. We don't get enough of them, and that is what it is. I just hope you guys are enjoying everything that's going on and cannot wait to get some rides in on this thing to be able to get some awesome footage, have fun with it, and then be able to share with you guys. So thank you all. All right, so I did it. I went ahead and I turned this around. I actually liked it. I was worried that, just all the heat and everything that's going to end up under here, but it's better protected. So again, just went ahead and I got it all under there. Ed, the neighbor, was over yesterday. I wasn't here, but I was talking to Matt a little bit, and I didn't know exactly what this went to, and he said it's a vent tube for the crankcase. So I got an order a little filter that I could put on there just to make sure it's not going to suck in a whole lot of debris or water or mud or anything. Yep. So with that, I did cut that when I had the carburetor the other way, so there's no fixing that, but it is what it is. It's still Predator at the end of the day. Now we can actually see the Performance 670. I feel pretty good with this here. If I need to actually make a mount, I will, but I feel confident that it's in a good spot. Got the overflow routed down there. I had changed the brake rod. I have a lot better throw on it now. So let's see. Looks like you guys can see pretty well. So it comes down to here. And what I did, this is where I originally put it, but it doesn't get a ton of throw, so I don't get a lot of pressure for the brake itself. Now I put it up here, and now I get just a tremendous amount of pull. Same with the clutch now being up here. So again, we're gonna end up giving that a good trial run here soon. We'll see if I still have enough clutch throw. If not, I'm gonna have to extend this more, since now I moved the location of the brake itself. I got cotter pin everything in there, so now everything is kind of solved of what I had questions and issues about. Now we're just going to put this back into place, because this moved on my last ride, on the first ride. You can see that it moved a little bit, the other side didn't. So I'm going to get that right back into place, and I'm going to tack on just one side of it, and then I'm going to tack on the other side just to prevent that from the future. I can clean it up if I ever need to drop or do any work to the transaxle itself. And then I think I'm going to do the holy-poly. I was hoping to be able to get this thing out for just even a few minutes today, but it ain't going to happen. It's just rainy, nasty. The video just ain't even going to work, and it's not going to be worth it. So we'll try to get it out another day this week. But again, we're right in that home stretch. We'll get this fired up after a little bit, so that way you guys can just hear everything with the new carb and see the improvements. And we'll get this thing ready to roll very soon, to get out there and hit some mud and tear it up. We got Ed the neighbor out, and we got Waterboy. get some footage going through the mud bog? I was waiting for you. Nope. She didn't like that. I had that thing pretty buried. Well, she's out.
Yeah, you just got one and have to put that little cover over there.
I need to make
That belt one,
a cover
the right idea, though.
for around the belt, because that's what's getting my carburetor.
Right here. Boom, boom.
Oh, yeah,
The seal plate comes up just like that. You're done.
Yeah.
It's just throwing it right on this fucking.
Yeah, it's coating
We're having issues with the water.
Oh no, H2O.
Water sucks. It really, really sucks.
Let's go through the creek.
Hey.
What? Oh. Here, just do that. So you know that. I'm good. Woo!
That one sucks because I missed it.
Really good now. Our normal trails are absolutely flooded. There ain't gonna be no creek rides right this minute.